All right, part three, the Vibras 5.1 review. I'm trying to wrap it up this time. Kind of lost my train of thought at the end of the last video, but whatever. I'm in, for anybody that cares, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and today it actually hit like 85. So it goes from like snowy to 85. It's kind of crazy. So that's why I'm in a tank top for anybody that cares, and you guys can make fun of me or do whatever you guys normally do. But back to business. Reviewing these two, which ones would I recommend? You know what? I still say for your money, the Triton set is where it's at. Um, you've got more control over your sound, with your inline um, box and all that. I mean, you guys know all about that crap, I'm sure by now. So the Vibras box doesn't even have a box. I mean, the decoder box has some settings on it, but you know what? They don't do anything. There's a volume, there's a center, and then there's a sub. Well, like I told you before, the sub, you can completely take that out of there, and you can play your game. And it doesn't affect the sound. It affects maybe, and this is not, I'm not exaggerating. It affects probably 5% of the sound. It only affects sounds that, like explosions, grenades going off, something, car blowing up. That's it. Um, so I've unplugged the front and the rear and just played a game with just the sub channel. It does it nothing. There's no. I mean, you have your communication coming through that channel. The sub channel is divided between your center and your sub. So you have that coming through there, and the decoder box adjusts your center, which adjusts your communication. So that's good. But as far as your sub goes, it's too loud anyways. When you're normally it's not even on. There's not enough like deep frequencies to trigger that sub channel. So when it is triggered, it's too much bass. So you go from having like high pitched craziness, no mids, to just like boom, these things like fall out, like rattle off your head, bass. So you almost have to turn that sub channel down, and you only can hear that you're turning it down when a grenade's going off or something, a rocket launcher. Um, so yeah, so really, I mean, of course your volume's going to work. That works fine, um, and your communication box here. I think I showed you guys that. It requires two AA batteries, which, you know what, that's definitely, you know that's a con for sure. I mean, you forget to, like, I mean, you're like me, you're playing till like 2, 3 in the morning. You're already like half asleep. You don't even know where you're at half the time. Then you got to remember to turn this thing off. So you come the next morning or the next night when you play and your batteries are dead. So I mean, maybe if it had like an auto shut off. I don't think it does. I mean, I've come to this thing and the batteries were dead. So, but I mean, I think the batteries last a long time, but they're not going to last, 24 hours of straight use. At least mine didn't. I don't know if they were like brand new batteries. I don't think they were, but it worked for a while. So yeah, that's definitely, I mean, that kind of sucks. The headset itself is, is way lighter. It goes on top of your ears. It came with extra foam, which I ended up putting on here because there's like a thin, like plastic, like disc that sits on your ears. So the only thing that was between that hard plastic and your ears was that one piece of foam. So, and these things are so high pitched anyways. Putting that extra foam on there isn't gonna like cut back any sound. So I put both of those on there. It made them a little more comfortable. But when you're cranking these things up, there's a lot of sound that escapes from these. I mean, I had a friend of mine come over and he was playing, and it was like, it sounded like the TV was on, because I mean, if you have these things cranked up probably louder than you should, um, like all the way up, it's going to sound like your TV's on like a low volume. It's just it's kind of crazy. I mean, if they just had it like a closed cup, like a Triton set or something, and kind of kept all that sound like just going right to your ears, I think just that in itself would have these things sound, twice as good. Um, the mic on them it's nice, it doesn't come quite to your mouth, which I kind of like because you can eat or whatever without obstructing your face, your mouth. Um, so that's good. It picks up my voice fine. It's got a good quality mic. I listened back some things that I recorded, and your voice sounds clear, like crisp. Um, so yeah, it has a richer sound than the Triton mic. That's for sure. Um, but you have to switch your Xbox to output your uh, your communication through your speakers and your headset. Um, which I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. I wish I like the Triton size. You just output it through the headset and it works fine. Um, but I mean, the sound that does your teammates and that comes through this sounds good. So I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. But I guess if you had a little bit of sound coming through your TV and you had the headset on, you just kind of wanted to have a private conversation, you wouldn't be able to because it'd be coming through your TV speakers as well. If you ever ran into that situation. Um, so yeah, I guess that's it. Would I recommend these? Um, you know what? What I would recommend you do um, for somebody like me, I am not a huge fan of these, and that's mainly because I like a deeper, richer sound. I know there's a lot of people out there that like the Astros, they like the way they sound, and that's mainly because um, the sound is really focused and there's not a lot of bass. So when you combine those two, it's you're not really being distracted by all the grenades and Harriers, just whooping you the whole time. So I mean that's kind of good. So I mean that's if you like that kind of sound, then I would recommend these. They sound brighter and crisper, way brighter and crisper than the Triton set. I mean it's night and day. You put these on, it's crazy. I mean it's like I said, it's night and day. Um, it's a completely different technology and world. Um, so if you're into sounds like that, I would say go for it. They're expensive, $250 on their site. But I will tell you this: I was having some problems with them. Um, like I was telling you, just playing Call of Duty, I just thought something was wrong with them because I just wasn't used to the way they were producing sound. So I was emailing the company, and the owner of TrackScan actually emailed me. So that's kind of nice. I'm sure you email Triton, you're not going to get the owner of Triton, emailing you on a Sunday afternoon. So that was kind of nice. So he kind of helped me out, walked me through some things, and after I couldn't figure it out, they sent me a new headset. So I mean, so yeah, I mean that in itself is almost like worth going with a better company, somebody that actually like cares about you and cares about their product over like Triton. So yeah, so for me, if I had $250, would I buy these again? Um, hmm. I don't think they're worth $250. These should be around the same price as the Tritons. Um, maybe even a little bit less. They have smaller speakers and a better decoder box. So, give and take. So actually, let's do a part 4 or whatever we're on. Stay tuned.